everybody? Welcome to the Guys Sports Night. I'm Will McEwen with always Ed. What's happening, brother?
What up? Will, what's going on, brother?
Dude, we got a lot going on this week. We got the Combine, so we're talking about careers that start late and early and everything in between. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the Arnold this week. We got the World Baseball Classic. I know that you're really excited about that coming up in the next, 10 days roughly. And then, March Madness is right around the corner too. You got your bracket ready?
No, I haven't even touched it yet.
You're going to do a pre-bracket bracket.
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to be in the Sweet 16?
I got to. I used to go really hard, really heavy when I was in high school because all my buddies that's all we would do during class. We'd set up our cameras, or not our cameras. I'm sorry. We'd set up our laptop screens and our phones to kind of sit perfectly. So while we'd be typing our papers, we would be literally watching the game. And sometimes you'd see my buddy go, "Fuck, no!" And the teacher would be like, "Mr. Ed, what are you doing there?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing." Watching Ohio State lose multiple times.
Losing or just not being anywhere seen near it.
No, but we've watched some fun games. But there's a lot of, like I said, I'll get into it a little bit later. I got a good story for you and the listeners here on some fun March Madness memories that I've created for myself.
Oh, well, we look forward to hearing that, and we're going to talk a little bit about a bunch of different stuff tonight, but I'm going to lead it off. Andrew Berry spoke today a little bit. I don't know if you heard him at all.
I didn't. No, I was driving all the way to our favorite little Yinzer city.
Dude, it's so crazy. The fact that Cleveland fans are getting excited about the potential of signing, I just forgot his name.
Malik Willis?
Malik Willis, or drafting Ty
Simpson.
Dude, it's insane to me that we should, like, quarterbacks even on the radar. I understand it's the most important position, but you have a draft coming up with 7 of the top 10 first picks, most likely going to be quarterbacks because there's just so much talent coming out.
You're talking about next year's class, right? You're not talking about this.
Yeah, next year's class.
Okay,
this year's class. I mean, this year's class was supposed to be that class, but you have the injuries to Drew Aller, and you have some of the other stuff that goes on. And then what's his name pulls his name. Dante Moore pulls his name from the hat. So for the idea that the Browns would talk anything about a quarterback this season when they have so many holes on that team, I hope that they don't sign or spend $1 on another quarterback. For those listening, make sure you guys subscribe, comment. If you're interested, next week we're going to actually do our dream scenarios for the Browns offseason. So we'll get into how the Combine affects some of our ideas for the mock draft. We'll talk a little bit about some trades that might be available to the Browns and free agents, and we'll kind of build our own primary offseason. So next weekend is the Browns offseason special.
So I get to be, do I get to be the owner of the Browns, or do I get to just be the GM?
You be whatever you want.
Okay, because I'm going to pull an Art Modell 2.0 and I'm going to move him somewhere outside of Cleveland.
Somewhere warm?
Yeah, somewhere warm, somewhere where it's not buried on like an ancient burial ground of some kind, from whatever the hell happened there prior.
I can appreciate that.
But yeah, man, I mean, I think we really wanted to touch on it as the kind of question that me and you were bounce around is, who were the biggest what-if athletes if we never got to see them finish their story? So the way I took that was it was just something more than injuries. It was more of just like, a decision that they made in their career that ultimately made them pivot rather than actually just staying straight off the injury, track. Because there's plenty of stories that are there online of talking about athletes that have finished their careers, with a couple injuries or finished their career with just one solo team. So I'm really interested to see kind of what we have. I have a few different people. I know you have a few different people. I think there's going to be a little compare and contrast to kind of see what we thought of the idea and what we kind of came up with when we were trying to answer the question.
Yeah, and we could touch on a little things. I know you got a couple of different angles of looking at it. I looked at it as kind of some athletes that their careers were cut short and some greatness that maybe we missed out on, especially my generation. Because obviously in your generation, things like Achilles injuries don't ruin a guy's life, right?
There's not anymore. They're not as catastrophic as they even were 15 years ago.
I mean, just look Adrian Peterson was like the ideal, like that, like changed the game. Like, holy smokes, not only can you come back in 8 months, but you could. That was
literally one of the first names I was going to lead off with was, what if Adrian Peterson didn't tear his Achilles?
I don't know if it would have made a difference. That dude
it wouldn't. And he stayed in the NFL a long time, but even still, like that year, what would have changed in his career? Would he still been the same guy even post injury? I don't know. I'm interested to see.
You could also look at it as like, what if the Browns drafted him instead of Joe Thomas? Would he have even ever touched 1,000 yards?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What if the Browns drafted Patrick Mahomes over Myles Garrett, first overall pick.
Yeah.
You got to think there's a lot of different decisions that it could change the trajectory of kind
What
of.
if instead of Jabril Peppers, they would have drafted TJ Watt and you would have had TJ Watt and Myles Garrett on the same defensive line?
That's crazy. No, that's crazy. Just think we traded up twice.
Oh, the what ifs in Cleveland Browns history. So for you guys tuning in, we appreciate it. We're just a couple of guys talking some sports. I've got some big news coming up in the ahead of time in the future with some interviews that we've got with the Pro Cheer League. Pretty excited about. Appreciate Colin, aka the Rhino from Miami Metal, reaching out to us. It'll be a different type of interview. I'm not even sure what to ask a male cheerleader or athlete. I mean, at that point, just a beast, but it'll be an interesting conversation. So let's get into it.
So tell me, what did you lead off with the question of who were the biggest what if athletes we never got to see finish their story?
So this is before your time, but I know you've heard of it because you're a baseball geek.
Okay,
Bo Jackson.
Okay, yeah.
So have you ever watched the injury that happened to Bo Jackson?
I have not, no.
It was literally like the least scary. It was literally like nothing. Yeah. He got tackled. It was a freak injury. He got tackled and the guy like kind of pulled on his leg. He was kind of running right, so it pulled. And it dislocated his hip in a sense that it cut off the blood supply. Which, yeah, it's like
I didn't even know. I honest to God, I never knew about his injury. Truly, I just knew like he just retired early and kind of left the situation with where he was.
So it cut off his blood supply, and basically it like kills everything in that area. It required him to have a hip replacement.
Oh shit!
Yeah, 4 years into a career, this dude was like, Bo Jackson was like the dual sport athlete of his time, right? It was like football.
Deion.
But he actually played his whole baseball season. That was his priority, was baseball. Yeah. And then he would come into the games like 5 games into the season. So he never played more than 10 games in a year because he didn't start until after the World Series or whatever.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, dude, that was a career that I was. And now obviously things change. Like I don't know how accurate 40 times and stuff like that were, but do you have a guess what his 40 time is supposedly clocked at?
I don't know his measurements, so I couldn't even take a guess.
4.13.
You're telling me he ran a 4.1?
So apparently, right, this is just, but clock times back then, maybe not as specific, but either way, dude averaged 5.4 yards a carry his career, was like ridiculous. It's funny though, you watch him because you watch him now and you're like, was he really that great of an athlete? Like comparative to athletes now, like everything just looked funnier when you watch football from like 20 years ago because their shoulder pads are like 6 feet wide.
The wild, what is it? Brian Bosworth neck.
Yeah. And then like the jerseys are all loose and it's funny.
They're not tight. They're not form fitting. They're not flattering at all.
No, not at all, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bo Jackson was my top guy. And obviously he was a dual sport athlete. So I know he had a decent baseball career after that. But when you talk about like, an athlete with, to this day, he's still considered like the biggest what if story in sports because, he was just a freak athlete for that generation. They talk about it's literally like creating Myles Garrett 20 years ago. What would Myles Garrett have been like as a defensive end in the 80s, dude?
I think he would have made Lawrence Taylor shit his pants.
Yeah, right.
If they really had to face each other in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, so that was my first one. I was Bo Jackson. And thanks for listening, guys. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. We're a new sports podcast based out of Medina, Ohio. But we talk sports, all sports. And basically it's just me and Ed getting on the mic and just having some good fun.
When we say all sports, we literally mean all sports.
All sports.
If we can somehow get a professional billiards interview going, we'll take it. Like, we're not playing around here.
Yeah, we take everything serious, dude. So if you're a BMXer, man, we want to hear about your pro career for sure. But yeah, so who did you have on your list of top athletes, either whose careers were cut short or?
I guess kind of one of the bigger stories that I really thought of initially kind of going into it was, and this is more recent than anything, but Henry Ruggs.
Oh,
he was a star receiver. He was a star receiver. Bama. He got drafted to the Raiders. Yeah, he was on that decorated Bama team.
He was already doomed when he got drafted by the Raiders.
And historically not very. I don't really know the word I'm looking for here. What am I thinking of? Like tight ship type is kind of the one I'm thinking of. Not a very well represented or reprimanded team. They've always kind of been known to kind of keep things loose.
Yeah, but Ruggs was, he was one of those players. He had all that potential. If I'm not mistaken, he came out and he ran like a 4.3 or something like that, and like then all of a sudden shot up the draft charts. And we're gonna talk combine.
I really
stuff
don't
like
know.
that.
This was so long. I don't remember him. Really his like draft profile or anything like that. I know he was highly touted because he was in a very decorated room at Alabama.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm pretty sure Jerry Jeudy was there with him. I think they shared the locker room together with each other. Regardless, though, what if he didn't get into that crash? And ultimately, he's serving life in prison. I don't know if there's any update on him at all or anything. That's kind of the last of it.
So I actually heard something recently, and we can look it up. It's funny because I think did he get out?
I don't think so. Maybe
serving 3 to 10 years for a fatal crash in 21. I thought that for some reason he was either going to get out, but actually he's transferred to a higher security prison in Nevada. That's interesting. I thought he was actually on his way out, but apparently not.
I thought I saw something online a couple months back that he was trying to like restart his NFL career. Like he was going to like a lower, I don't know what it was, like a lower level security facility, but I guess that's not the case. But regardless, what if he didn't get into that crash? What would his career still look like? Would he have made it? Would he have not? I mean, that's one of the guys that it's very sad to see. That's how you have to end your career. And he's so young, dude.
Well, it's any of these guys, dude, right? Like, I mean, for the fact that the fact that these guys just don't have a shot to do something special because of something stupid that they do along the way. But I mean, at the same point in time, it wasn't like it was a small thing.
No,
right?
I mean, he killed a woman.
Yeah, it wasn't doing 100 miles an hour or something like that.
Down the Vegas Strip or something like that.
It's just crazy. But I mean, at the same point in time, like we talk about it, like these are 20-year-old kids getting millions of dollars. Right. I mean, they're still kids. I mean, I'm 43 years old, but if I would have got $1 million handed to me, let alone 5, 10, 15, 20 million dollars at 20 years old, I'd probably like enjoy my fuck you money too.
Yeah, of course. Oh, of course. I would be almost be in that sense. I would be almost a little terrified because then you're going to have people crawling out of the woodwork trying to get your attention and be like, hey man, remember I let you borrow that pencil in 6th grade. Hey, can you buy into my MLM scheme by any chance? I only need like 20 grand. You know what I mean? Like, no, I think that is probably one of the biggest what if stories for me personally. Obviously, I have another guy, Nick Chubb. Oh. What if he never got injured? I'd love to see him. I think he would have finished his career in Cleveland.
100%.
100% think he would retire here. I think he'd still be at the top tier of his, with where he needed to be as in terms of a top running back. And obviously, going to go Homer here again, Grady Sizemore. Such a decorated athlete. Oh, my God. Was he just a stud outfielder for that Indians team?
It's funny because Sizemore was one of those guys too, where it was like every year they're like, this is going to be the year. This is going to be the year. And like just one after another, something derailed that and just took him out. It was back injuries for the most part, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it?
I think it was either back or it was either leg. It was some kind of lower extremity.
But yeah, I mean,
don't remember. But he was just injured. Regardless, he was just injury prone. I don't remember
a career 320, 330 hitter. I mean, he was like something else, dude.
Yeah, and when he was on the field, I mean, it was all-star top tier level. It was the best guy in the league at sometimes.
Yeah,
he flashed that potential, and he just never got there.
All right, well, you shot off 2 and 3 real quick. So let me get to my 2 and 3. Number 2 is Sean Taylor. Bro,
yeah.
You know what? It's funny. I was a huge Sean Taylor. Actually, I wanted the Browns to draft Sean Taylor. Talk about unfortunate instances in 2 different directions for Miami players. You had Sean Taylor and Kellen Winslow. I think went back to back. Or Winslow.
I don't remember that draft.
It was either. Oh, that was the year Roethlisberger was drafted too. The Browns,
like 2004,
3. I don't know off the top of my head, but either way, I know that it was. Sean Taylor was the guy that I wanted. He ended up going 5 to the Redskins. And then I want to say 6 was where we took Kellen Winslow, which I liked Winslow too, but man, they went 2 different directions, right? You got Winslow who ended up in jail, I think, for rape after destroying his NFL career by riding motorcycles and doing wheelies. Funny story. The guys, Scott Caraboulet from Ride for Life and the Star Boys that came in here and talked about their stunt running.
Yeah.
They saw that. He was always trying to hang out with them and do a little bit too much. So
no shit.
Interesting story. But yeah, dude, Sean Taylor's career, man, is crazy. If you look at his trajectory, like and where he was at. I put some stats down here real quick. You know his nickname was the Meast for Man Beast.
The Meast.
The Meast. The Man Beast.
Man Beast. Okay.
So 2005 was his rookie year. He had 7 forced fumbles.
Yeah.
And then his last year, 9 games in, he had 5 interceptions in his last year when he was murdered. And it's like, I mean, we looked at that hit the other day from the Pro Bowl. Like, he was known for being like the hardest hitting football player probably in the last 2 or 3 generations. And it's like to see a career cut short like that, just awful. I mean, because look at like where Ed Reed turned out. Would he have been as good or better than Ed Reed or Troy Polamalu? I mean, when you look at safeties in the last 25 years, those are kind of benchmark of like greatness, and he was like right there in between them.
I think you can still arguably say, even with his career being cut short, the pinnacle of what a true ball hawking, just absolute dog of a safety is still
prototypical safety. If you could duplicate him, dude, you'd take that every day.
But I'm saying the standard is still Sean Taylor and Ed Reed.
Yeah,
like that is still right there, even with Sean Taylor's career cut short. And yes, it was insanely terrible to hear that. To hear about that.
Yeah, definitely. Hey guys, like, comment, subscribe. If you've got a player that you want to mention is somebody that had their career cut short, put them down in the comments below. Once again, I'm Will. This is Ed. We're Guys Sports Night. We're out of Medina, Ohio.
What up?
If you want to come on the show, you want to be part of the show, we'd love to have you on. This isn't hear us talk and don't get to take part. So if you got a comment or hey, you want to jump in live, download the StreamYard app and we'll send you an invite. Number 3 on my list, you'll like this. I dug back into the archives for you.
Okay.
Kerry Wood.
Okay. I like it.
I mean, I think Kerry Wood was before you because I want to say he was like late 90s. So it was like when I was going through high school, is when he had the 20 strikeout game and like everyone's like, who is this dude? So interested in that rookie year, 13-6, 3.4 ERA, 233 strikeouts and 166 innings.
That's crazy,
dude.
That's like Randy Johnson type of dominance.
They thought he was going to be the Nolan Ryan of baseball,
yeah.
dude. Like that was all anybody talked about. 99, second year, Tommy John surgery, and doesn't really make it back until 03. And then got within 5 outs of the Cubs winning the World Series that year as a big part of that rotation. Ended up finishing up as a closer with the Tribe. I remember when they brought in Kerry Wood, I was like, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It's like, even though it's the end of somebody's career, when you hear a name, it'd be like if I don't know.
Almost like if the Browns brought in like Terrell Suggs or something like that.
Yeah. Towards the end of their career, like you just got him.
Just there for names.
Even bigger than that, dude. It would, it'd be like if the Browns brought in Tom Brady, like or something. Like, maybe not to that nature, but even though it's the end of that career, like just to bring somebody in and have that name. And Kerry Wood, dude, I thought he was going to be the it. And I was a huge Nolan Ryan fan growing up, dude. So I was like all over that aspect. But yeah, if you've got a player that you were a big fan of or know of that their career got ended short, go ahead and tag them in the comments. Love to see hear their story. So a little bit on this cut short aspect. I have some names.
Okay.
30 years old is when they retired. One's 31, but we're going to include him. So any idea who?
Calvin Johnson.
Not on the list. I think he was a little older than 30. Okay. I just looked up like players that retired at 30 years old and just wanted to see who was going to be in their prime. Michael Jordan, the first retirement, 30 years old.
I have that on my list, yeah.
Barry Sanders was 31.
I have that on my list.
Magic Johnson, 31.
God, he was 31 when
first time he retired. Yeah.
No shit. Okay.
He ended up coming back.
Yeah.
Jim Brown, 30 years old, pursued his acting career. I mean, you just think about it. They still talk about him being like the greatest running back of all time, breaking all these records.
Some of his records are still not broken.
He quit at 30 years old. I mean, imagine if he would have ran for another 4 or 5 years or did it Emmitt Smith style and just ran until there was no more records.
Fair enough.
Sandy Koufax, 30 years old. Sandy Koufax, what was I going to show? Oh, 97 and 27 as a starter.
Yeah.
1.86 career ERA.
Nasty.
But yeah, dude. I understand you got a couple on the list too, guys that hung it up too early.
Well, so yes, I have guys that are hung it up too early. However, I took a different pivot to it.
Oh, okay.
When you think about what ifs, I always like to think of the hypothetical of like not being able to finish their story in terms of their injury, not being able to finish their story with kind of how it started. Okay. So when you say that, or when I say that, it's you have the two big names. What if Tom Brady never left the Patriots?
Would they have won another one?
Would they have won another one? Would he have that 7th ring? I don't personally think so.
I don't think they would have won another one.
Where would he be? Where would Bill Belichick be? How would that empire that was built at that time, which was kind of crumbling, how would that have fallen even further? How different would it look today even?
Yeah.
I obviously have LeBron. What if he never truly left Cleveland?
The first time?
Or the second time?
How many championships would we have had?
Even still, or the second time.
I think about that all the time.
Never actually leaving Cleveland, staying here, being a homer for life.
Yeah.
What would we look like? How different would we be? Would we be in a better spot, worse spot? Would we have more or less championships?
You might not have had Kyrie Irving.
No, you wouldn't have had Kyrie Irving. That was actually the Clippers pick.
Yeah.
So we just got lucky there. And then I had Derrick Rose. He spent 16 years in the league.
Yeah, despite having, I think, 3 torn ACLs.
Yeah, his ACL.
But his first one was the worst one because he was like one of the best players in the league at that point.
I mean, I remember it was Philadelphia versus Chicago. And yeah, he went down. I mean, I can still hear Kevin Harlan saying, holding onto his knee, and he is down. And just watching as a young kid, everybody adored Derrick Rose. They wanted his shoes. They wanted to be like him. He was just a likable guy, and he still is, obviously. But what would have changed? How would his career look a little differently? Would he? I think he just would have had a lot more highlight plays. I mean, he still lasted so long in the league, but damn, like watching him just go up and dunk it, being the dominant, like
for a point guard, he was just such a baller, dude.
Oh yeah, completely.
And with those listening, if you've got a player that you wish you would have liked to see in a different ending of their career, make sure you throw them down in the comments so we can hear it below.
My next one, I don't necessarily think it would have changed the player as much as it would, as much impact that it had on the game. So do you remember a guy named Armand Galarraga?
No.
So Armando, I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. Armando, I want to make this correct. He was throwing a perfect game. Okay. There have only been 27 perfect games in baseball.
Is that true?
Yeah.
God,
it is one of the hardest things to do in this planet.
I agree.
Okay. It's 27 outs. No ball, or I'm sorry, no walks, no hits, nothing, just blanks on the board. Someone hit a little squib right up to first base, and Miguel Cabrera goes, and this is against Detroit. I think this is at Detroit or in. It's one of the. Regardless. Miguel Cabrera gets the ball. He throws it over to Armando Galarraga. Galarraga catches it in his glove and taps the bag, and the umpire, who is standing maybe about as far away from me and you right now, calls the guy safe. That was the last out of the game. And everybody, including him, realized he messed up. And that's when they didn't have review plays. So they had to stick with it.
Let's see.
What if that call wasn't made? How much would sports have changed? Maybe not too much, but that was probably one of the bigger influences of why we have digital replay today.
Ground ball, right side. Cabrera will cut it off. Galarraga covers. He's out. No, he's safe.
That's the last out of the game.
That is so brutally obvious.
He's just like, what?
He is safe at first base.
And you can see it in slow motion that it's clear as day.
And here comes Jim Leyland. Oh, my goodness.
What is going on here? Our fans are not able to see right now.
Oh, because you don't have the screen shared.
I do, but it's only hold on 1 second. Sorry guys, I apologize for that. I don't know why the live or the full screen is
Whenever you're ready, I'll get back on my soapbox.
Yeah, go ahead. So anyway, dude, 1 out left in the game, perfect game. I didn't realize it was against the Tribe.
Yeah.
I do remember that game now.
I remember, and this is back when papers were still being printed. I remember looking at the big plain dealer in just the big front cover page and just seeing the reaction. And it was truly one of the worst calls ever made in all of sports history.
So usually when you see something like this, it's like a close call, like runner wins the tie.
No.
From that, like
said he was safe at first base.
Jim Joyce too. It's not just some run of the mill.
No, he's a veteran. Watch.
And he missed the base.
Oh my God, he's out by 2 feet, dude.
Clearly out.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Why is he safe?
Why is he safe indeed, Jim? That is insane. Yeah, but I mean,
And he went on to actually write a book and how that actually that hurt him mentally.
did it really?
Yeah, it really ruined his reputation because you got to think, dude, he's been in the MLB for a long time, and the only thing he is known for, not for all the correct calls, that one.
Oh, you're talking about Jim Joyce?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine that would mess you up.
And Galarraga went on to just be a normal, like a average to below average pitcher after that. Like he wasn't anything crazy special. But you got to think, one of the biggest points of why everybody was like just hammering for instant replay was probably this play right here. I mean, you're looking at arguably one of, if you had to put the top 1,000 worst calls in sports history of all time, this is probably in the top 250.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I mean, anytime that having a perfect game ruined at any point after like the 6th inning is hard enough, but to have it in the bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, and it because of a blown call, I mean, you can see in the photo right there, like he's literally got him beat by a stride and a half. That's disappointing. So what you wonder what would have happened to Galarraga if he would have gotten that final out?
Yeah, like what would have changed, you know?
I mean, for him, probably nothing. I don't think that a perfect game
But
really
we don't know.
elevates
That's
him
the
as a
thing is we
pitcher.
don't know that.
No, of course not.
You got to think what kind of mental battle
that's-
he went through as a pitcher of like,
but
wow,
you
like
could use that battle though. Like, what if Jordan didn't hit the game winner against the Cavs in the '80s? What if LeBron didn't hit the game winner, or who is it that hit the game winner? Actually, it was Kyrie didn't hit the game winner in Game
in
7.
Cleveland.
Like, what would he have been a lesser athlete because of that?
Yeah.
No, I mean he's a moron.
Again, it's just it's just a what if. Like you're at that point and you weren't able to finish your story. This
Well-
is the story that you now have to live with as an athlete. It's like I almost threw a perfect game.
Yeah, so that's the point. I mean,
Metaphorically here, though, everybody in the world, if you ever showed this to any sports fan and ask, is he out right here?
yeah, that'd be definitely.
And they'd be 100%. Like Galarraga knows he threw a perfect game.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he knew he threw a perfect game.
yeah, for sure.
But the sports books, by history itself, will not tell you that. And I got one more for you.
All right.
This is pretty easy to talk about because it's still relevant to this day. It's what if OKC paid James Harden before he left him?
Yeah, would they have been the Golden State Warriors instead of falling off the wagon? Because they had Durant, Harden, and Westbrook on the same team.
Yeah. What would that team look like?
I mean,
would they have gotten over the hump?
Yeah, and God, that team was stacked. Like, you just think about that. That was like the original Big Three before there was a Big Three, right? Because that was before the Miami, or maybe it might have been like the year before.
It's the same timeline because
Yeah.
they played each other in the finals.
Not as the Big Three, though, I don't think.
Yeah.
Was it Westbrook and Harden were still there?
Yeah, I believe so. I
Yeah.
believe that was that too, because the next time I think that OKC went to the
Shout
finals.
out to OKC though for being relevant all these years, despite like they lost Durant, they lost Harden,
They traded Westbrook. I mean, they let everybody walk out the building.
And they just continue to fucking build that team back up and make themselves back into a contender. Now they're once again considered one of the best teams in the NBA.
They just won the NBA Finals last year. Like,
Right.
and you know what's crazy is like, what if they never traded Paul George to set this ball in motion of like, oh my God, we have so many draft picks now.
Yeah.
Like, what would the team look like? What would it, would it be different? Now, again, obviously that story's not even finished. It's kind of just initially started, but
Sure.
no, I think if things would still look a little differently, I think maybe they could have done it if they would have all matured together. I think truly they would have at least won one ring
Yeah.
to an extent. So that's just the guys that I wanted to talk about for the what if side of things. I think I don't know. I think about that all the time because it's fun as a sports fan.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, it's definitely the two biggest ones for me are going to be Jordan and Barry Sanders, right? Like, obviously, the big thing with Jordan is he's already considered the GOAT because he won 6 championships really in a row, right? Which I don't think any athlete has really done since then on that level. But more importantly, like, would he have won 8? Like, at that point in time, he was the greatest thing in basketball.
I think if he didn't retire,
yeah.
for
I mean, but that was right after his
purpose.
dad was murdered. I mean, it was. I can imagine it being hard to move on as an athlete or really anybody in life if your dad's murdered. Like, and it's an unsolved mystery to this day. It's like one of those things, that just is going to haunt you. But then he came back. They win 3 more, and then he retires again. I mean, if he didn't retire again,
was that baseball? Was that was the first retirement or the second retirement for baseball?
So the first time it was just mentally, but I think he started to focus on baseball for like 2 years. Because that's where the number 45 came in with the White Sox.
Yeah.
And then he came back number 45. And I remember when they brought down the 23 from the rafters and he put it on for the game to come back as 23.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, it's fucking on.
Someone, oh man, I remember seeing an interview and someone was screaming at Jordan going, 45 ain't 23. And the guy turns around and looks at him and goes, what the fuck are you saying that for? And he drops like 50 that night.
Dude, I mean, to this day, like it was just something else. Like for some reason, I don't know if sports are just different now, but like you turn on an NBA game or something now, and as an adult, like it's like, same shit, different night, right? Somebody jacks up fucking 23s, hits 15 of them, has a big game, whatever. Back at that point, dude, it was like every game was like brawl, dude. Like the year they won 72 games, like those weren't easy games. I think I saw something where like their average point differential that year was like 6.8 points per game or something like that. Like they had some blowouts, obviously, but dude, they had to fight for all those games. Jordan averaged like 36 minutes plus a game. Like it's not they just walked through a fucking average league. Like, and back then in the NBA, there was more parity too. Like you didn't have super teams, right? Like teams built their way up.
Wow, I mean, you still had a super team. You had Pippen, Jordan, Rodman.
But that wasn't a super team because you just threw freaking $100 million contracts at 3 of the best players and they demanded trades off of their team and everything else. Rodman was a free agent. Pippen was drafted in the second round. So it was a different story at that point in time.
Right.
The other one is Barry Sanders. I was heartbroken when Barry Sanders retired, and I wasn't a Detroit fan, obviously, but it was one of those things where it's like everything about Barry Sanders was just crazy. I don't know if you watched like the documentary or anything.
I have not.
It was actually a pretty great story, but he was just different. Like he lined up 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage, furthest back ever. He had the least amount of tackles behind the line of scrimmage of any back at that point in time, despite doing that. And he was like, it was like playing a video game watching him play, dude. Like at any point in time, he could literally have 20 carries for 32 yards and then break 2 80-yard game in the fourth quarter, like out of nowhere. And it would be like the most incredible runs ever. And once again, it's funny because when you watch him now versus athletes now, you're like, was he really that great of an athlete? Like, I mean, the dude was obviously an athlete, but like when you look at him with his huge shoulder pads and freaking I love watching highlights from like 25 years ago. They're just so different.
I think as guys, it's in our birthright to just sit back and watch highlights from multiple years ago.
I can't find my mouse.
It's top right. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, Barry was a dog, man.
I mean, the dude just was freaking insane.
He was truly a generational talent. I think that term gets thrown on way too much now.
More and more, right? Like anytime somebody runs like a 4.2 40 or jumps 45 inches, like it's like generational talent. Look at that, dude. I remember that game. That was like on a Sunday night game, I think. You know what's funny? I think he ran a 4.5 40. I think. I'd have to look that up. I mean, just look at him, dude. He was the GOAT, bro. So he retired. He retired 1,400 yards short of the NFL rushing title overall. So that Emmitt Smith eventually got by playing for 40 years.
Which I actually think bringing up Emmitt Smith ties us into the perfect point of what we also discussed was
hanging on too long.
Yeah.
So
me and Will were going back and forth and talking about this. Is what next question we wanted to also follow up with when talking about what ifs is hanging on for too long or hanging it up too early when it comes to athletes. I personally, what did I say in my notes here? I personally said that you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. That's from, if you ever see Batman.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the more like famous lines from the show itself. I personally think hanging on for too long. It's just one of those things.
It's worse than leaving early.
Yeah.
I mean, it because you'll always be talked about as leaving too early. But if you hang on too long, you almost become like a forgotten athlete.
You become like oh, it's it's like, oh my gosh, it's Derrick Rose. And then 16 years later, like, oh my gosh, it's Derrick Rose.
Yeah,
he's still playing. Like, can't the guy? And I truly think it's more of a mental thing than anything else when it comes to the fact that you can't let that dream go.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? It's the Friday Night Lights or the Longest Yard, or what is it? It's like one of the guys that he talks about. He's like, well, that's all I know how to do is play football.
Oh, you're talking about Shark.
Yeah,
The Sharks, Miami Sharks.
Yeah.
That's Any Given Sunday.
Any
right?
Given Sunday, I
Great
think.
movie.
I
Great
think.
football movie.
Yeah, but it comes
Where the dude ends up fucking getting knocked out at the end of the
tears his
game.
ACL, yeah.
No, he gets a concussion. He's got all kinds of concussions
Why
and
did I think
shit.
it was an ACL tear then?
I don't know, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah, and he talks about the only thing I know how to do is play football. And the same concept here goes for these athletes. All these guys know for their whole life is just basketball.
Well, I mean,
it's hard to let that go.
You could talk about, I mean, realistically, did Peyton hang on too long? He got a Super Bowl out of it, right? But I mean, he was a shell of himself that last couple of years.
I mean, that neck injury really could have taken him out forever.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Look at God. I hear they had terrible news the other day. JOK is probably never going to play again.
Yeah.
Like the idea of him and Schlesinger on the same team was just so nasty.
Yeah, they're labeling it as doubtful at best.
Yeah.
And that's tough to read about. But again, it's leaving the game too early. It leaves you with a what if situation.
Jay Cleve 011, appreciate you tagging in. No, I did not feed the dogs.
Oh my God. Are you gonna go feed the dogs?
No, she's gonna take care of the feed the dogs.
Oh, beautiful. Thanks,
she just likes to comment on the show and ask if I did. Speaking of comments, if you guys are listening on the podcast right now, you got a question, you want to join in, if you want to be invited to the show, we'll send you a link and you can come in live and have conversations. But what athletes held on too long for you? What athletes got their careers cut off too soon? And more importantly, what athlete is the most disappointing to you as far as their career, the way it ended?
So I have some examples for you of guys that hung on for too long.
All right, let's hear him.
Stipe Miocic in his last fight.
Oh, it's ugly.
It was against John Jones. It was terrible. He took it for the money.
I mean, but he took it for the money. Why do always people say that about fighters, that they take the money? It's all about the money when they come out. Speaking about money, you see Money Mayweather's going to fight. Did you get my text?
I literally have that right here. Floyd Mayweather coming out of retirement. It's literally my next bullet point that I want.
But he's also the guy that freaking beat what's his name? Conor McGregor, dude.
He lost. Did he beat? He did beat McGregor.
Yeah, he beat
right?
McGregor, dude.
Oh no, because he lost to Jake Paul, or was that Mike Tyson? Or it was Mike Tyson that technically lost to Jake Paul.
Yeah, so they're actually talking about a Mayweather Tyson fight.
Yeah, anyway. So I have Emmitt Smith.
Speaking of athletes whose career got derailed early, that could have been fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah,
Mike Tyson, dude, he just plummeted there for real quick, but you take that many his to the head, dude. What's happening, Jared?
I also
appreciate the comment. Hey, what athlete's career got cut too short for you?
Ooh, what athlete's career got cut too short for me?
Yeah, no, for Jared. He just
in.
popped
Sorry.
I thought about your top.
Sorry, I thought he was. I think he was asking me the question. Sorry.
No.
But I also have to the point of Emmitt Smith in his Cardinal years.
Oh, that was way too long.
It years? Did he only play 1 year for them?
No, I feel like he played like 3 or 4 years for the Cardinals.
And then I have Brett Favre's last couple of years with the Jets and the Minnesota Vikings. He needed to die as a Green Bay Packer.
You're just upset that he left as a Green Bay Packer.
Well,
I think he actually did some good when he was with. He had the Vikings in the playoffs.
Yeah, but do you not remember like one of the most catastrophic mistakes that he made?
The interception across the body.
Yeah. I also want to refer to this as when you're hanging on for too long. I said
mental back. 2010, 13 games, 2,500 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. That was his last year. 2009, though, he had 4,200 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 7 picks with a 107.2 rating. So what happened between 2009 to 2010? I have no idea. 2008 with the Jets, 3,400 yards, 22 touchdowns, 22 interceptions. But, hey, it's Brett Favre, bro.
Yeah. Thanks for just fucking Wrangler commercials, too, while we're at it.
Dude.
No sponsors, no free ads.
I had a Brett Favre Atlanta Falcons rookie card when I was a kid. It's like him taking a knee, holding his helmet with the number 4 Falcons jersey on.
Nice.
I forgot that it's funny, like you think about careers. Johnny Gaudreau.
Johnny Gaudreau. Oh, dude, no, don't.
What? Tell me what's up with Johnny G? I don't even know who.
Johnny Hockey. You've never heard this story?
Oh, you know what? I think I came up when I was doing some research, but dude, I don't pay attention to hockey at all.
Oh my God, dude, he got murdered. on a hit and run.
Oh, is that
riding
that kid?
a bike?
That's the kid on the Olympic team.
No.
Oh, no?
No, dude, Johnny Gaudreau was a fucking dog. Oh my God, dude.
Don't
If you don't know
cry,
Johnny,
bro.
no, dude, because it's so sad. He was fucking, dude, he got hit and ran and he died on just a random day. And he was back in his hometown. He was riding bikes and a car literally just hit him and drove off and killed him.
Jesus.
He was not, I don't even think he was 31 years old, but he signed with the Blue Jackets to be like their star player.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How long ago was this?
This was a couple years ago. This was only like 2-3 years ago.
No kidding. I
Yeah.
gotta look this up. All right, Johnny
Gaudreau. Oh, dude, I completely forgot about Johnny.
God,
It's
you're
so
about to-
sad,
You're
dude.
about to cry, bro.
I know, man.
Yeah, he was with
dude,
Calgary
like
for
you
a
don't
long
understand.
time. He played with the Jackets for 2 years.
You don't understand. Johnny was like,
I don't know shit about hockey stats. Let's see what we got here. Games.
Why are you
played,
gonna read the stats if you don't
goals,
know
and
anything about him?
assists. 243 goals, 500 assists. He's a plus minus at 25. I'm just curious how good of a player he was.
he was, dude. I'm telling you right now, it's
7-time All-Star.
yeah. It's literally like if I don't want to say LeBron, but it's like if prime Kyrie came to the Cavs during like the shittiest years possible after LeBron left. Which look at that, it did happen.
Hold on a second. Johnny Gaudreau, they were there for a brother's wedding and they both got killed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I forgot his younger brother got killed too.
They were both walking down the street.
Yeah. They were riding a bike or something. Like they were just riding their bikes.
Dude, that is
And a
so
car hit
brutal,
them.
bro. So
And Johnny Gaudreau was literally like the Mr. Roger of the NHL. Like he was just the best, most well-respected guy on the planet.
That's brutal.
I mean,
So brutal.
and yeah, and it's one of the saddest things. I just remember opening up Instagram at work one day and I just see all these posts about Johnny Gaudreau and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I thought it was fake at first and then, nope, it's real.
Damn.
God damn, dude, I forgot about that.
Well,
Fuck.
So that is the same freaking God, dude, you drive me up. That's who they the Olympic team honored at the Olympics this year. When after the gold medal match, speaking of hey, remember you were talking about like Miracle on Ice when we were talking about it's Miracle on Ice Part 2.
Yeah, fair enough.
Bro, 40 freaking 6 years. But that's who came out on the ice. They brought his kids out on the ice. They brought his jersey out on the ice.
I didn't see that.
at the
I
end
didn't
of
see
the-
I didn't see that.
Yeah. So now that makes sense. Now I do know who you're talking about. Let's see.
I
here.
forgot his brother was with him.
Hang with us, guys. I'm going to pull this up real quick, sir. And if there's
Well, we're gonna
anybody
have a
else that
4 hour. You
knows-
need to realize we're gonna have a 4 hour long podcast. If we
No,
keep doing this.
we're gonna move really quickly after this, but I want you to see this.
Just for reference, guys, we have 7 segments in the show, and we're on segment 1.
Yeah, we're going real good.
And we've been starting. We started an hour ago.
I just built a
Well, what are you
budgeting app
gonna
in
do?
Base 44.
Guys, Nina just
They'd be very proud. I think they like a nail biter, so they probably would.
Yeah, they brought his kids out on there. So was he on the U? Was he supposed to be on Team USA?
I don't know.
They might have had a little.
I mean,
help
hopefully.
Yeah, it's his
There were
sister.
a couple times I was watching, like, how'd that not go in? So I think they might have had some help. behind the net,
But yeah, dude,
they were never
that's
quite
that's
defensive, so I don't
they
know if
just
really
like
made that
honored him. It
that.
was pretty cool. Brought his kids onto the ice and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
shit. I
thanks,
didn't know-
Jared.
I didn't
Appreciate
know
you
that.
throwing that one in there, dude.
I didn't know, man. My bad. That's a great shout out, Jared. Thank you for bringing that one up, man.
All right, we got to move on to the next segment. But speaking of hockey, the next segment, this will be a quick one, but we're going to talk about toughest sports. You know, while I was sitting there watching the hockey match, dude, hockey is got to be the hardest sport to play because you really have to be an all-star in 2 sports, skating and hockey, right? Like, you can't do one without the other, bro. I was thinking about the other day, I was like, man, it's not like you can just be like, you can't be the guy on the ice who's like all like, whoa, like Adam Sandler back in the day on what's the movie called? God.
For reference, I don't.
Happy Gilmore.
I don't find Adam Sandler funny. So.
Have you ever watched Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
It's fucking funny. The original one, not the second one. Anyhow, so hockey to me has got to be the hardest sport, dude. The idea that you have to be able to skate like a freaking superstar and at the same point in time be able to freaking the game itself is just incredibly difficult.
It is.
And the stamina in order to be on the ice for, you know, that period of time as well, going up and down, that's not easy. So I would definitely say hockey for me has got to be top 2 hardest sports.
I really just want to say this.
Okay.
So when I think of hardest sports, Okay, and we saw this in our notes when we were talking about this, but to me, the definition is something that is both hard to play and hard to be good at, to define it as a hard sport.
Yeah.
So something like baseball and hockey is hard to play and hard to be good at versus something like football and basketball that is both easy to play but hard to be good at. You know, you can pick up a basketball and maybe somehow, some way, magically, maybe score a bucket or two when you're playing 5-on-5s, you know?
Yeah.
And in football, the same thing. You can maybe sometimes catch a pass or throw a ball or do the right thing, you know, and sometimes it can lead to good outcomes.
Sure.
It is hard, insanely hard to play baseball and just casually accidentally hit the ball and get contact and get on base safely. Same thing with hockey. It's actually super hard to just pick up hockey and say, oh, yeah, I just want to join a men's league with no experience and no ability to skate whatsoever.
So, I mean, I agree with that, but I think at that level, any sport could be difficult, right?
Every sport is difficult when you're a professional. Like, let's not confuse that for a second. If you're at the top of your game, it's because there's a barrier between someone who just casually does it or tries really hard to do it all the time versus somebody who is so God-given, gifted, talented, and has worked their ass off to be the best in the business.
So when I looked at this as like hardest sport, I looked at it as like, okay, walking on, never playing it, could I do it? Right. And so can I walk onto a baseball field and swing a bat and possibly make contact? Absolutely.
No.
Kids do it every day. Like 5-year-olds go play baseball for the first time and
5-year-olds aren't seeing 5-year-olds aren't seeing 60 miles an hour. I'm not talking about on a pro level.
I'm just saying play sports in general.
Yeah. Okay.
To play sports in general, right? Can motocross, can somebody get on a dirt bike and like hit the throttle and go and maybe roll over some jumps? Yes.
Yeah.
To walk onto ice and be able to skate and then be able to move a puck with a stick, that to me is like not something that anybody could just do. You know, you might be able to play street hockey at first and then eventually learn how to skate, but like you're not going to just walk onto the ice and start to play hockey.
And I want to say
same thing with like gymnastics, though. It's not like you're going to just run and do like a double twist layout, whatever. But you could go there and do cartwheels, right? So you could start at some level. To me, hockey's just one of those ones where it's like, dude, it's got to be so hard to like just gradually join up. So if you're listening, you're out there, comment what is the hardest sport that you think there is to play. Golf. Jared put golf in there.
Golf is hard
Not
to play and hard to be good at.
Technical and mental.
It is hard to play and hard to be good at. Now golf is fun when you know what you're doing. Otherwise, if you're just trying to swing your club around and try to hit something, you have no idea. Golf, you can't just pick it up and play it.
But at the same point in time, you can just take a golf course, go out to a golf course and swing at a golf ball and hit it, right?
Yeah, you go to the driving range.
Yeah,
and
it's hard to be good at, hard to do. Sure, the technical side, especially like putting, things like that, those are skills that you can learn. But like just starting out into the sport, anybody could go out and play golf, in my opinion. Same thing with football. I could hand a football to anybody. I could tell somebody to get in front of somebody else. Like those are sports that are easy. You got to think like, what sports are kids doing at like 5 and 6 years old? And basically all of them. Right?
You're gonna have every single hockey, golf, and baseball player at each other's throats in whatever comment section we post this on. I'm telling you right now, from experience, wasn't a lot of good experience. I was not very good myself, but baseball is the hardest sport.
I disagree. I played baseball for plenty. There's too much out there. Anybody could stand on a mound and throw a baseball.
I understand that, but
they might not be the best at it. But I'm telling you right now, if you took 10, 12-year-old kids and you took them to a baseball field, all 12 of them would be able to hit the ball and all 12 of them would be able to throw the ball.
I think you'd be shocked.
Maybe not the best, but they'd be able to do it.
I understand.
Now you take those 12 kids and you put them on ice skates and throw them out onto the rink and tell them to play a game of hockey. Those kids are going to be bashing their faces off of the ground for the entire time because probably zero of them know how to ice skate.
Now, let me ask you this then. If we're going to really implement that into it, how much of hockey is the skating part versus actually knowing how to play hockey?
I would say, well, knowing how to play, I would say like 60% of it. 60 to 70% of it.
You're 43 years old. Fuck you. I just want you guys to know. I want you to clown him in any comment section where we post this video and we talk about this. Clown him for that 6-7 joke. It's dead.
60 to 70. I was saying 60 or 70. 60 to 70%. I mean, it's so crazy that how often 6 to 7 go together. My daughter calls me out all the time. No, I'd say 60 to 70% of hockey is definitely the skating aspect of it. And then obviously a big majority of it after that is going to be, handling the puck with a stick. Like,
I think the
it's not
hardest
easy.
part, the single hardest part of hockey is skating and being able to take a hit.
Well, yeah, there's that part of it too.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I don't want to sit here and not say that hockey isn't hard. Hockey is extremely hard.
Definitely
It
the
is
most difficult sport.
1A, 1B. For me personally, is baseball and hockey, and they stay at that spot. If they could co-host the trophy, I would gladly give it to them.
All right, moving on. Hardest sports. Talk about hardest sports. Talk about most fun sports. Almost March Madness. We talked about it. Brackets come out.
Can I say this?
Is it about March Madness?
No, but it is about the last point because we actually mentioned baseball and hockey. Before we move on, I just want to say this because we asked this question. What sport could the average elite athlete not cross over into? And I said baseball and hockey. And I just want to tell you my reasoning for that.
Okay.
Baseball. Consistent training both on and the off season because you're constantly playing baseball during any given season. If you're down south somewhere, that's why the SEC is best at baseball, or even a lot of these Dominican kids come and play because you can play baseball all year long. It's a skill to hit, field, and pitch far beyond just being able to pick it up and play and / cross over into the sport. It has to be done before, has been done before, but most likely will never do it again. The career longevity is extremely short.
Yeah.
If you don't cross, if you aren't elite at it.
I mean, I think that any sport crossover is a difficult. I think here's the difference between football and baseball crossover or crossing over to baseball. I think that almost every kid in America over the last 40, 50 years has grown up playing football and baseball at some point in their life. So you're always going to have
but
those,
this
those
is
skill
this is
sets.
specifically for the
Yeah,
average
I get
elite
it on
athlete.
I get it on the elite athlete, but that's like saying take the best football player in the world and put him on a dirt bike.
How are you gonna argue with me? All right, you wrote you literally told me this question to answer in our write up when we were doing write ups together.
It literally
wrote
says
the
what
question
the
down.
debate is. What sport could the average elite not cross into?
Okay, I thought you were asking
And
me
it's
the
the
question,
average-
and like you're trying to fight with me how we're trying to paraphrase.
No,
the question.
I have my side of things. You have yours.
Okay,
I
fair
mean,
enough, fair
realistically,
enough.
every sport's going to be hard to cross over. I think baseball is a little bit easier to cross over because at some point in time, that athlete has played baseball before. Now, obviously, there's a difference between hitting a 70-mile-an-hour fastball or in today's days 80-mile-an-hour fastball in high school versus a 99-mile-an-hour fastball in the major leagues baseball. But you look at guys like Jordan; he didn't play baseball for like 18 years, and he went into the league, right? Like,
Okay. He played in the minor league,
but
and
he was still
stunk.
in the league. I'm just saying, like, crossover is possible into baseball. Where I think it's different is like, just like I think that a baseball player could go play soccer, a soccer player could play football. Like, I think there's crossover available in all. But when you say like hardest sports to cross over to, I would say motorsports. Like, the average athlete cannot drive a car 200 miles an hour or jump a dirt bike over. a
Listen,
triple.
we're getting way too far abstract here. Okay, so we're talking about March Madness. Okay, because me and you will go down this rabbit hole because then we'll just start talking. I mean, the most nonsense about stuff. It's hard to be an elite athlete. The crossover ability to it is extremely hard, whether it's baseball, golf, or hockey. There.
Absolutely, or any other sport.
Or sure.
Hey, for those listening, this is Will. This is Ed. We're here from the Guys Sports Night, part of the Guys Night podcast.
What up?
We're live every Tuesday. If you want to be part of the show, just send us a DM and email us at support@guysnight, spelled with a K, NIGHT.com. And we'll go ahead and send you an invite out to the next podcast or the next live show. We'd love to have people on joining from wherever they're at in the world, talk about sports. We'll make sure that we get you an update on what we're going to discuss in the following week. Next week, Ed, we are talking off-season moves for the Cleveland Browns. So if you're a Cleveland sports fan and you're listening right now and you got your own idea of what the Cleveland Browns should do this offseason, whether it be trades, free agency, or in the upcoming draft, and what you think of the quarterback situation and everything in between, please reach out to us. We'd love to have you on the show, either live here in Medina, Ohio, or virtually. You can put your own dream team together, and we'll debate on who makes the best moves, what moves are the most possible, and if either of us can make the Browns successful this year, or if we're all holding on for 2027 before we move into the Dome. All right, next point we're going to just kind of briefly touch base on is March Madness coming up around the corner. A couple of days, a week or so.
2, 3. Actually, I think it's going to be.
Has March
middle.
Madness kind of lost its edge?
No.
You don't think so?
Nope.
So what part of March Madness is great? Is it the actual basketball, or is it the fact that everybody just loves gambling?
Both.
Both.
I think now that it's like pretty much like in any state you can gamble.
Fun
it's
fact
great.
time. Fun fact
Sure,
time.
go ahead.
What is the lowest seed to make the Elite Eight?
The lowest seed to make the Elite
Actually,
Eight
Final
was
Four.
a
Final Four.
was a 15th seed. That was
No.
really
The lowest seed, and there's actually been a few of them, to make the Final Four is the 11th seed, Lucky 11. If you were the 12th or later seed, you have never been to a Final Four.
Was that okay? Tell me the teams that have made it.
All right, one's before you were born, the LSU team in the 80s.
Okay.
Next was UCLA 2021.
Okay.
And obviously UCLA is known for having a basketball program, so as 11th seed, it's not surprising.
They've kind of fallen off over the years.
La Jolla 2018. We talked about you. I know you had some notes.
Loyola Chicago.
Yeah.
Can you believe that Sister Jean? Do you know that?
She's
story?
105 years old.
105.
Yeah. Actually, she might be 106 now because something I was reading was from last year. So, yeah, 105, 106 years old, dude. How crazy is that? That's an interesting story, too, because you can open up like what the transfer portal meant. You know, we talked about Indiana making it to the NCAA championship for football this year, transfer portal. And then you talk about that Iola team. That is because of the transfer portal as well.
Even in 2018?
Yeah, dude. They had 2 guards that they brought from, I can't remember what team, but they were big-time players in NCAA.
I don't remember. I don't really remember ever hearing about that. But, yeah, that Loyola team was awesome. Everybody was cheering them on.
All right, so that was one fun fact. We were talking about La Jolla. VCU in 2011. And
I remember that.
2006, the original team to really get the mid-market teams in there was George Mason. They opened it up, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, I was interested. I was like, I thought for sure that a top 16 seed had made it, or a 16 seed had made it, but never been the case. But they've been some great upsets.
Oh yeah.
I was just who was I talking about? Oh gosh, you know who gets upset the most by 16 seeds? Kentucky.
Really?
Yeah.
How many upsets did
They've
you know?
Lost to the 16 seed like 4 times in the last 25 years or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, just surprised.
I don't know how. Here's my problem with that is, I don't know how 16 seeds could have made it even further because there's only been 2 times in the history of March Madness bracket where the 16 seed has beat the 1 seed.
So it
was 2018 and 2023, I believe.
Yeah. Wait, for what?
For the March Madness format, the 1 versus 16 seed, only 2 times in the thousands of games that have happened. I'm exaggerating that for effect here, but there's only been 2 upsets ever where the 16 seed has actually beaten the 1 seed.
Really?
And it was in 2018 and 2023.
I thought for sure it was 4 times. Maybe they were I don't know. I might have misread that. We'll see. We're moving on. All right. So we were talking about March Madness. I was trying to come up with some talking points that we could talk about. And I thought to myself, you know what? I can mention a couple of stories that are probably from before your time. But what are some stories from March Madness that were kind of key focus to you or performances that measured? And if your guys are out there listening, what was your favorite ever March Madness? And what's the story that you remember the most? What player do you remember the most? And love to hear your comments down below. But go ahead.
Now, you were probably incorrect. You were probably incorrect with the seeding option. However, what I'm talking about here is in St. Peter's in 2022. They were the 15th seed, and they upset Kentucky.
Yeah.
So they were probably the higher seed and lost to a lower ranked seed at that point.
Yeah.
Or there was probably some formality for that purpose. But Doug Eddard, aka Dougie Buckets, that lore was created back then. That was probably the last time I really took college March Madness like super serious. I mean, I love March Madness. It's my favorite time of the year. As a diehard baseball guy, this is something I look forward to completely. Is just being able to sit down. It doesn't even matter the seeding. The beautiful thing about March Madness is the fact that you can turn any game on at any time during the day.
And it's a great game.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. If it's a blowout, it doesn't matter. The next game, which you know is happening, it's going to be a great game.
Well, that's like I was looking up, 11 seeds, top 11 seeds are the only ones that have ever made it to the Final Four. And I started looking at but there's been so many situations of the 12 seeds and lower upsetting top seeds, and not even just upsetting them, some of them beating by 15, 20 points, but never making it past the 32, the round of 32.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show these guys, if you're one of these teams that barely makes it in or gets the play in or is the 16 seed, every bit of your world knows hey, we are probably not good enough to win the championship, but if we can upset the 1 seed or the 2 seed or the 3 seed, we're going to make a name for ourselves in this tournament.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, go ahead. Top performances or biggest moments.
So, next thing, obviously, wanted to just move into this. Dunk City, 2013, Florida Gulf Coast University. Team was nasty. Have you ever seen any of their highlights?
No.
Do me a favor here. Type in 2013 Florida Gulf Coast. 2013. Florida Gulf Coast. Yep, right there.
All right. Why is this so great, Ed?
Because they are known as Dunk City. I just want you to just click on the first one here. FGCU Dunk City. Their nickname was more form
Got a
fitting.
little pill with a big story to tell. Hey, folks, just like everything else you see on TV, we're here to tell you that if you don't feel good, there's a medicine for it. Just give it to Big Pharma. They'll help you
Take
get
a pill.
through your day.
Just take the pill. Make sure you eat it with a meal. So,
All right.
Dunk City.
So who was there anybody on this team that like I will even know?
Not that I remember. No, not anybody that like formed into like their massive NBA career. But
So what just made them a great team? They were just a bunch of high flyers.
Yeah, just Dunk City.
So did they do anything in the actual?
They were the
I
first.
see this is the
They,
two.
they were the first ever 15 seed to make it to the Sweet 16.
Were they really?
Yep. I mean, dude,
White
it's
boys
just,
got some ups.
bro, it's just guys being dudes out here, just awesome. It's like every player was made for like the 2K.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. They were one of my favorite teams personally. I love them. And again, first ever 15 seed to make it to the Sweet 16. Lastly, I had Loyola Chicago, and I just want you to mention this. They were the 11th seed that went to the Final Four.
Yeah.
They beat number 6 Miami,
Yeah.
number 3 Tennessee,
Yeah.
number 7 Nevada,
Yeah.
and number 9 Kansas State.
Yeah, and they ended up losing to number 2 Michigan, or was Michigan
State, I think.
Michigan? No, it was Michigan State. It was Michigan.
Okay.
I just watched that. It's one of the greatest. It's considered one of the greatest final performances in the Final Four performances. I can't even remember. Bogner was the center for Michigan.
Yeah, Mo Wagner.
Yeah. I was so heartbroken to see him lose that game. They almost pulled that game off. I actually reminded myself of that this morning and watched some of the highlights on that game.
That's what I'm saying. There's these teams like this that I love seeing because there is going to be one at some point.
Well, there's always somebody, right? The only thing that I will say is disappointing is so many athletes leave college after 1 year and to go to the NBA anymore. Like it changes the game. And there's so many mismatches. Like, could you imagine if LeBron would have went to college? Like 2003 was already an action-packed.
Could you imagine
March Madness? That was the year that Dwayne Wade took Marquette to the Final Four, and that Carmelo Anthony ended up winning the entire thing with Syracuse that year. And those are two of the like greatest performances. And so that's obviously the time difference, right? 2003, I was like 22 years old. It was like every 22-year-old was obsessed with the freaking March Madness back then. It was on every single TV and every place that you walked in, including high school before that. So I remember those finals. I remember D Wade having the triple double that freaking just, I mean, skyrocketed his star status. I mean, Marquette. I mean, really. And then Carmelo Anthony, and those two turned out to be some of the greatest NBA players to ever make it. That was one of my memories. That was 2003. The other one I had was Cardiac Kemba.
Oh, of course, at the Garden.
I just remember that game. Like, I feel like every game that they were in, he just would hit big shot after big shot after big shot.
He was the guy.
Yeah.
Like he at UConn, he was the guy.
Yeah, 100%.
Like a decorated program.
I think
UConn.
they only made it to the Final Four that year. I don't think they made it past that. I don't remember. But I do remember like I wanted the Cavs to draft him so bad. I think he went to Charlotte. Jordan drafted him.
Yeah. What a terrible move.
Let's see. What was the other one that I have? Oh, dude. Villanova versus UNC. The only walk-off game winner in championship history, dude.
Here's Jenkins for the win.
For the championship.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's funny. I remember that game, but I was like, oh, I should look up other game winners to see if that's the only walk-off win in NCAA championship history.
Did you ever see, I think his name is Marcus Page, maybe, for UNC, how he made did you ever see that shot?
No.
Bro. No. Throw this up here. How have you never seen it? It's one of the greatest 3-pointers ever.
Which one is this?
It's UNC. Obviously, it's versus Villanova.
Oh, you're talking about the actual.
Yeah. Throw this game up here for a second.
All right, let's see.
Final minute. Watch. It'll come right into here. So they make it. They're going down.
All right, guys, tune in. YouTube, don't demonetize us.
Please don't demonetize us. So keep going. Move a little bit more ahead.
You don't want to see the.
No, but can you like fast forward it like 10? Okay. Yeah, go past this. Try to skip forward a little bit. Yep. Go back. Right. Keep going.
God, what a game this was. I could watch this whole last 22 seconds if it didn't.
I could rewatch this whole game and never be bored because there's so many great ones.
Yeah,
keep going. It's when North Carolina has the ball.
This is where, right here.
Yep.
It's Barry, who had the hot hand from 3 in the first.
Oh, there it is.
They're going to have to do something from the outside now. It's Page off balance.
Oh, look at that. How have you never seen that three-pointer?
I mean, that was 10 years ago. I watched this game live. I do know that.
Yeah, like, bro, he cocks it back.
Look at. God, dude, this is such a great game.
I know.
Oh, so close. I can't.
Pumps. Bang. Oh, man, dude, isn't that crazy?
Dude, I mean, that is insane.
Yeah, like that's one of the greatest games. That's one of the.
Oh, no way, dude! Nobody thought that was going in.
Look at the kid there. They go length of the court with Archie.
4 seconds, dude. How do you not?
Gives it to Jenkins for the championship.
Oh my gosh!
What a walk off. And the refs ruin this. They're like blowing whistles in between because they got to review shit. It's so annoying.
That's what it is.
Anyway,
but
that's obviously one of the greatest winners or greatest wins ever.
yeah, I mean, the one thing I do like, we talked about missing the star status of it, but it's really anybody's league this anymore. Like anybody could be. The Cinderellas aren't Cinderellas anymore. They're just upsets. Like they just happen.
No, that's where you're wrong.
You think there's still Cinderella stories?
Yeah. If you are a 12 or below seed,
okay,
even an 11,
below, sure.
even 11 and below, you're not being covered big by the media.
No, but at the same point in time,
and if
dude,
you go
once
on
you
to
win,
beat the big dogs, you're a Cinderella story.
Once you win in the first round, it's not until you have to make it to the Final Four to be a Cinderella.
You have to at least win 2 games. Okay, you have to get into the Sweet 16.
You got to get to the Elite 8. I think you got to get to the Final Four to become a real, because there's so much parity in basketball anymore. It's not like Duke versus, I don't know, throw anybody out there, Southern Technical School of Indiana State, like whatever it is. Like there's just so much parity when it comes across these athletes now in the game, because realistically, if you got guys that could hack up threes from 4 feet behind the arc, then you could be in any game in college and the NBA. Like basketball is not the same game that it was 15 years ago.
I disagree. But well, I know what you're saying here. I do want to tell you this.
Part ways as friends.
That's fine, and that's fine. But I do want to tell you the story here that when we were talking about this. Why I love March Madness is because there's a ton of memories, not just being able to watch it, but I have a personal experience with it.
Yeah, you shared this with me, or tell us about it.
So a couple of years ago, obviously, I'll get a little emotional here because this will tie into it. I lost my mom when I was 15. So in 2014 is when I lost her. In 2015, me and my dad are really bonding. We're really starting to get to know each other even a little bit more and starting to form like a friendship. You know, it's like a guy, you know, it's kind of a nice moment when you and your dad actually finally like get to like a level of like, okay, we can kind of see each other a little bit more eye to eye on like things. You know, you're maturing a little bit as an adult. And me and my dad love March Madness. We used to watch it all the time, make brackets, talk about it and everything. And one night my dad was like, hey, you know what? Let's go to the championship game. And I'm like, how are you going to
wait? The championship game? 2015.
It was
NCAA.
Duke. Yeah, it was Duke versus Wisconsin. And I'm like, you're not even going to get tickets. He's like, we'll figure out a way to get in there. So I was like, no, I don't want to. Like, whatever. I was so naive and so stupid at that time. And then for some reason, something in me told me to turn back around and tell my dad, let's go. So I did. I'm just like, you know what, Dad?
Where was it at?
Let's do it. It was in Indianapolis. It was at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Okay.
So we go, we drive 4 hours and we park and we find this really shitty hotel or whatever. My dad ended up having to do business the next day. So it worked out perfectly. He had to be in Indiana regardless. So we get checked in and we head down there. Well, we have nowhere to go. We have no parking passes. Every lot is closed. Things like that. I'm like, look at my dad. I'm like, we're never going to be able to do this. And he's like, all right, so what? I'll cancel my meeting and we'll go home and call it a day at that point. Well, we ended up getting into the Duke, like the fan area. They had like designated outside fan areas. And I just so happened to be wearing a blue hoodie at that time. So we asked this cop, we said, hey, can we park here? We're part of the crowd. We're one of the family members for, so-and-so, whoever. And he's like, yeah, just park over there. Park right there. Just randomly park our car right in the fan lot.
What?
Yeah. So we get out and we're walking the street a little bit trying to find 2 tickets. So we have our fingers up like we need two. Get offered some, say, fuck that. No, we're not paying that ridiculous price. A lady comes up to us and says, hey, I can get you guys in $100 a piece. Me and my dad look at her. We look at each other. We look at her and go, yep. Not going to say anything about that operation. But
what do you mean? This was 15 years ago. Spill the beans. What happened?
So they used to have printed tickets, like hard copy tickets back then before they went like completely digital. They used to run a scheme where, you'd hire someone out. Lucas Oil Stadium is 100,000 people. It holds an exuberant amount. I'm exaggerating for the effect here. But the game only sold like 50,000 tickets because that's all they wanted in the capacity and whatnot. Because obviously the loge seats and even upper levels of like.
Yeah, you got extra space.
Yeah. So by nature, there's going to be some extra space. But these guys are like, all right, well, you know what? We're going to give them fake tickets. We're going to run a little scheme. They can sit wherever they want. And we just pocket all the money. So we cut in line of, I'm not shitting you, 10,000 people.
What?
There is a line like a
so
snake.
This like a works for the stadium?
Yeah, these people are all hired as probably like outside. They're outside like event companies that come in to like run
security
the tickets
and stuff like that.
Exactly. So it's like a snake. So all these people are lined up. And me and my dad and this lady just walk all right past them. This lady looks at this guy and goes, I got 2 more, rips up the tickets and gives us our stubs. We hand her the money. We walk right in.
Wow.
And I'm like, I look at my dad, naive again, as a 15-year-old who had no idea about the world. Like, I was sheltered. I was heavily sheltered. So I was like, hey, Dad, why don't we just go sit in our seats? And my dad looks at me and goes, because we don't have real seats. And I'm like, oh, that's right. Duh. Nobody just actually does this regularly.
Dude, that is such a cool story, dude.
It gets better.
Oh.
It gets better. So where the loge seating is and the stadium, it wraps around because on the one side they can open up, the actual door so light shines in. Okay, like at the stadium, you can it's like Jerry's World. They can pull the roof back.
Right.
Lucas Oil Stadium, they can open up the, I'll call it barn doors for lack of a better term. Well, there is seating that it's like I don't know, it's like almost like a slide level. So like the seating wraps around, and there's delegated seating that falls short of that.
Right.
Well, me and my dad just so happened to sit there, and we look up, and they're perfect. There's a TV right there. We're a little too far away from the action, but we're looking at a TV that's watching the game. So we're watching it and looking at everything like that.
Oh, because you guys are up there.
Yeah. So, it goes great. I'm cheering on for Duke like a dumb shit when I should have been cheering for Wisconsin. And
why? Wait, why?
Just because it's Duke. I mean, you don't ever want to see Duke win and shit like that. And we get these seat covers because they decorated the whole stadium with custom national championship seat covers. I grabbed like 5 or 6 of them, and I still have them to this day at my house. And we finished the game. It's great. It's like one of the best memories I've ever had in my life. Well, we go down, and we're walking down, and we're getting closer and closer to the floor. Obviously, everybody's bleeding out, and we get close enough to the actual court that they're now starting to cut the rim or cut the net, because in tradition you cut the net,
of course.
So all the players are getting their pieces, and Krzyzewski comes up and is taking the net off. Well, as he's taking the net off, my dad goes, Coach K, over here, and he turns and flashes my dad the net as he's and my dad's taking the picture, like he's pointing at.
Oh, okay.
Like he's showing him the net, like, yeah, we did it, we won, and my dad obviously got a great picture of it as well. And yeah, we went back to our hotel. Yeah, we spent $200 and got in the national championship game. It's one of the greatest memories. It's one of the greatest memories, probably the single greatest memory I ever had with my dad.
I can imagine,
and that's why I love March Madness, is because it brings it back to such a greater time in my life.
Well, now when you eventually have kids, you're gonna have to try to do that same exact thing. Be like, it's a little harder.
I don't know if I have the balls to do that, man. My dad was a not give a fuck type of guy.
Dude, sneaking into events is a blast, dude. I mean, I've done it a few times, but it's always a good time. When you beginning, and it's like that, like just
that rush of like,
that- yeah, like, I
accomplishment
did it.
of like, yeah.
I beat the system and their $400 Ticketmaster ticket fees to get in.
And we went back to the hotel. We finished up the night. We went home. It was great.
That's
But that's
awesome,
again, that is one of the core memories as to why I love March Madness.
Great reason to love it. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm excited. Maybe we'll do a guys' night bracket.
Do we wanna
put
do-
a bracket together and share it out there and let people go ahead and
Do we
put it
just
up
want to
there.
live stream on YouTube as we watch the games?
As
and
we
just-
yeah, or we could just fill out the bracket live and share who we're putting on there.
yeah, we could definitely do. We should definitely do something like that.
Yeah, it'd be a good time. All right, hey, next part we're gonna talk about is a little thing that comes up every year here in Ohio. So you guys, if you're into powerlifting or you're into bodybuilding, you probably heard about the Arnold Classic. It takes place every year in Columbus, usually the first or week of March, end of February. This week it is the first week of March. I won't personally be down there. Ed, are you making the trip down there?
I actually think I may.
Yeah.
I actually think I don't know how much time I'll have to actually get down there to see some stuff. The Arnold's not what it's used to be to begin with, but my cousin lives down there at Ohio State, so I may find a reason to just kind of kill a weekend.
I would love to go down there Friday evening because I know they have some stuff on Friday and try
Yeah.
to talk to some of the athletes and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to see what the schedule looks like.
I gotta say, I've gone to the Arnold. You've gone.
You
got
got
to
to be up here on Saturday though.
Why? What's Saturday?
Oh man, don't tell the wife.
Oh
tonight.
no.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
that is this Saturday.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping
Oh,
I'd be able
geez.
to make the trip down when I realized that myself. But hey, on a side note,
That's no, that's next week though. That's not this weekend. That's next weekend. It's
Wait,
the
the Arnold?
first week of. It's the first full weekend of March.
is it really?
Yeah.
We should be able to get down there.
Yeah.
then.
Let's do it then.
Speaking of, if you are down in the Columbus area and you are a lifter or just looking for a great cheat meal, I got two of them for you. If you guys didn't see a podcast we did before with Jared and former Army Ranger who runs Smash Buddies down there in Columbus. We just went down there this last weekend for my daughter's cheer competition. I did smash some Smash Buddies burgers, and they are fire, and you must check them out. So for any of you guys listening, if you're out there and you're going to be in the Columbus area for the Arnold, make sure you check out Smash Buddies. They're about a 10-minute walk from the Coliseum, from the convention center. 5-minute drive, definitely worth checking out. Great vibe, great bar, great little area. They've even got a speakeasy right there as well, so a lot to check out. Would definitely recommend that. And two, for you competitors that are out there, I know you're going to be craving some sugar. You're going to want something after the fact. I got the answer for you, Buckeye Brownies. If you don't know Zach from Buckeye Brownies, you need to. Check out the website, buckeyebrownies.com. Use code GuysNight to get your 10% off. But man, if you have not tried one of their brownies, you are missing out.
I wish people were here to see our actual reaction of like, oh my gosh, like holy shit, these brownies are fucking
Did
huge.
not expect them to be
They're
that
and
good,
honestly,
dude.
they're so good. Like
So
they're not
good.
overbearing in sugar as people may think it is.
No, and whenever you have something that's like super size, you just accept that it's going to probably taste a little bit worse than if it was like
But
regular size.
none of that.
But
None of that's the case.
dude. They were fire. He's got a special February box out, and I know he'll probably have a March
Yeah.
Madness box out with his top 4. So definitely check him out. Make sure you use the code GuysNight, GUYSKNIGHT, to get your 10% off. And for you athletes and competitors who are out there, there's no better meal after you get done with 6 months, 7 months of hard work and dieting to indulge in some freaking jacked up brownies that look like they're on testosterone and been bench pressing 300 for the last year.
Or if you're an average looking dude who still hates his competition or his like regular day physique, and you've been fasting for 6 or 7 hours, this is the perfect thing to eat in that
He
time.
said fasting for 6 or 7 hours. If you drink water all day and you didn't drink any pop, good for you. Now go eat a 5-pound brownie.
Yeah,
Let's go.
exactly. It's all about does it fit your macros? Do you fit my macros right now?
I don't have a whole lot to add. Obviously,
Have you ever
bodybuilding-
been to the Arnold?
Yeah, I have. The Arnold's an awesome time. It's a great show.
I have a lot. I have some other stories that I've.
So
told.
I was in the convention center for the cheer competition this weekend, and there's obviously thousands of athletes and parents and stuff that are down there. And somebody asked me, they're like, "What's this like for the Arnold?" I'm like, "This time's like 20. Like you can't breathe when you're walking through there." I was like, "But it's a great time. If you've never been to the Arnold, it's just fun to just go and experience it." I went down there with my wife and our buddy Evan last year. One, you get to try out some of the new proteins and stuff like that. It's not like it was before when you walked out of there with like a bag full of samples.
if you
Like, it's a
take the
little
Arnold
different.
if you take the Arnold 15 years ago,
Yeah.
I mean, you could walk out of there and you could get everything you need for that year in one day and still probably, and honestly, it was fairly cheap back then.
Yeah,
but now it's really expensive. A lot of these companies are getting frugal with kind of what they're giving out and stuff like that.
Absolutely. But it's still a good time. If you want to go check out the hottest new gym equipment, it's out there. last year we watched quite a bit as far as some of the powerlifting events and stuff like that go on, and obviously the bodybuilders are on stage. It's a big part of the Arnold. You know, Sam got his. I think Sam won last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Sulik?
Yeah. You know, and there's a couple, you know, big names in that segment, but we've had a couple of guys on here. I know there'll be a couple of people competing that are from here locally. When it's Big Mike Eli out of Old School Iron, I know his team's probably going to have some guys on there. We've had Dahan on a couple of times, and maybe we'll have a conversation with Dahan or have him bring on Jordan.
We got to just do. We got to honestly, what we need to do is we need to come up with some questions for some guys and just make a video out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because and I love the Arnold. I've gotten the pleasure to meet a lot of the athletes as well. A couple years ago, even when I was bigger into like the whole powerlifting station.
You were a Chris. You were a bumhead, weren't you?
I was. I actually got to meet Chris, and the reason how I got to meet Chris was he had a line out the building to try to meet him when he was coming up there. Now I don't even think he goes anymore. How I met him in they turned an old bank into Powerhouse Columbus.
Yeah.
So when I went into the locker room, I threw my bag in just a random locker. It was just open. It was just there. And I'm like trying to rummage through my stuff. I'm trying to get everything. And I close the locker. I look up and I turn to my right. And the guy opening the locker next to me is Chris Bumstead. And I'm like,
that's
like,
pretty cool.
Like just the sheer of like, oh my God, you're Chris Bumstead.
Yeah.
And he's like, sup? And I was like, can I get a picture, Chris? Sir, what's going on? You having fun? And yeah, he went out there. I met Marty Ford. I've actually met a lot of my inspirations that for lifting, like Mark Bell, Ed Cohn, a lot of the other Stan Efferning. Stan Efferning, I got to tell you, for not knowing who I am at all, was the nicest human being on the planet to me. Strength Cartel, met Brad Castleberry. I actually almost had the opportunity. If you don't know, do you know who Kenny KO is by any chance?
No, I don't.
He was a fitness YouTuber for a while, and then he got kind of super mega red pilled. I was going to do his camera work for the Arnold for 1 year. It just didn't work out. Me and him just got kind of conflicting schedules and stuff like that. But I've met a lot of the guys. I met a lot of good people in both the social media scene, both on and off. They're just great people all the way around. It's shocking how big lifting egos are. Like when you're in that room, it's like the most humbling experience because you're like, wow, like I'm just kind of an average lifter. I'm kind of fat. And these guys are like at the pinnacle of their game. They're the pinnacle of their physique, and they're so nice.
Well, you could tie that into earlier. We talked about, it's most difficult sports. Like it's not difficult to lift weights. It's not difficult to get in shape. But for them for the way that they change their bodies, and diet year round in order to achieve the ultimate, what we consider male physique when it comes to bodybuilding, is still one of those things that I cannot grasp around. Like I can eat healthy, but man, I like me some cupcakes, bro. I'm not trying to like go all year without eating them, But
I think I may seriously take like my diet to the next level at some point when I really just am like, you know what, fuck it. Like and this will be like when after I'm done like having kids and shit.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to mess around with my test and start fucking with that. But I'm at the point where like, I'm 27. I'm still in the peak of my life. Like I can fuck around and eat, some donuts and some ice cream and shit like that. And obviously still stay physique and still obviously keep a decent physique and whatnot. But yeah, I love the Arnold. If you ever have the opportunity to go, definitely do it. There's a lot of good stuff, a lot of good people, a lot of just cool things. If it's truly an experience of a lifetime.
Yeah, I wish we had a little bit more time. Maybe we could have had a couple of guys from Eli's gym on and talk about who they're sending down there. What the difference is between competing as a woman versus a male, because obviously drugs are such a big part of that aspect. And how
also, never believe anybody that says they're fucking natural. You're a lying asshole.
That's not true. There's some natural.
There are a lot of good natural athletes, but it's the non-natural guys that claim natty that ruin the sport for a lot of people. And push product.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, like, nobody. I mean, other than the average Joe who's outside of it, I look at it like, oh my God, you're taking tests, it's fake. Like, okay, first of all, like if somebody's taking tests and all these other things, D-ball and all this stuff, like they're still putting in more work and more discipline with their meals than probably anybody else on earth, and no matter what level.
That D-ball and that testosterone, that anavar, that combination right there didn't put the broccoli in the oven at 350 for 20 minutes and do your fasted cardio in the morning that's twice a week and reheat your fish and schedule out every workout and make sure every rep counted. I kept all like, the thing is the reason that people take these drugs is obviously for that performance enhancement
well, it's
point.
To maximize the opportunity.
But you still have to fucking diet and train your ass off. It's there to just push you to the next level. It's not there to just eliminate the work.
Yeah, it'd be great if it did.
You still have to work. Of course it would, but that's why Ozempic was created, because it eliminates the work. Any GLP-1 is going to do that for you. It's going
to a degree, right?
Yeah, and we still don't know the side effects of a lot of the stuff that people take and promote.
Agreed. So, all right, we're going to segment off of that. Speaking of baseball, or speaking of steroids, what's not allowed in the WC is steroids. But I know you're really excited about this. We kind of touched on it a little bit. We'll probably have a much more detailed conversation once it actually starts and we get to talk about the qualifying rounds or the pool rounds and stuff like that. But, what are some things that you're kind of excited about when and in now as far as what's changing this year? Is anything changing? What's coming up this year? Is there any athletes that you're excited about? And things like that. I was surprised that they're bringing the pitch clock to it.
Yeah. And the ghost runner on second too.
I didn't know about that one.
And
what is the ghost runner on second?
It's just an extra innings. Like the
start
runner
off with a runner on second after the 11th inning or something like that.
Yep. I don't necessarily have anything that I'm excited for. I'm excited for the whole event because it's fun. It's a great time. What's crazy to me is I was thinking about this actually. We're talking about this. We have March Madness. We have the WBC.
March is insane this year.
It really like even in this time of year of this like
spring
lull
training's
period.
Kicked off.
Yeah, I mean even in this kind of low period of things, and we even look past some of this stuff. You have the Masters coming up right after Easter as well.
Yeah,
like
you got the NFL draft coming up right after that. You've got free agent period. The NFL season starts in about 2 weeks. Free agency starts.
I would honestly say that I don't know if this is the most boring time of the year, like we initially deemed it, or maybe we jumped the gun on things.
I don't think it. I think it just depends on where you're from. Like, I mean, let's face it. It's freaking 25 degrees outside. We got 6 inches of snow dumped on us. It's Ohio. We're a football city. The Browns suck. The Guardians are probably going to be right at that same level.
But if we're just looking at everyday sports,
but like sports in general,
the landscape.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on and a lot to talk about, and that's why our segments are so long tonight because I mean they're pretty exciting.
Hey, you know what? It is what it is. But to get back to your point, I'm not really excited for any necessary athletes. I'm excited just for the event all the way around. I think this is the most well-rounded United States team that they've put together since 2017, since they won it.
It comes down to pitching, though, right? I mean, that's 100%. Really what this comes down to.
And you have Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal now.
And then you have the Japanese team that's got 3 aces on it. And it's going to be interesting to see. The chances are they're going to end up together. If it was somebody, if Dominican or something pulls an upset, that'd be surprising. But it's baseball. Anything can happen. So I looked up a couple of stats that I thought would be interesting. First of all, I was shocked there's a mercy rule.
Yep.
Not shocked because there shouldn't be. Like I wouldn't mind a couple of baseball games having mercy rules as well.
Well, again, this is an amateur event.
Yeah, right.
This isn't an amateur event. I'm sorry, this is a professional event. So yeah, I'm sorry.
A professional event.
I'm thinking of the Olympics.
Well,
the Olympics
I mean,
are technically
it is, but it isn't. But kind of interesting to see that there's a mercy rule. The chances are teams coming back down by 10 after 7 innings is probably slim and none. And that electrician that's pitching the final innings for freaking whatever team.
I like the mercy rule in this type of setting though.
And then so a couple things I looked at from the level of from the championship game, from the pool games, the runs dwindled down quite a bit. So pitching obviously very important when you get to that final 4, but it goes from 10 runs a game on average to 8 runs a game on average. The semis are between 6 and 7, and then it's 5 and 6 for the championship game over the course of the first 4
I mean, it makes sense. So. You're just facing lesser competition at times.
Of course. Well, you also have a championship game where you have some days rest. Your pitchers are limited on their pitch count anyway. Yeah. So guess what? They can go in there. Your ace can go in there and throw 40 pitches. Your second pitcher can go in there and throw 30 pitches. And, you're limiting it. I am interested to see if it changes, if they will become more like professional soccer in the sense of MLB actually backing this and making a bigger event, right? Because right now it's literally looked at as like an amateur event. It's not looked at like the same level of the World Cup for soccer, right? Yeah. And I think, but do you even think that'll ever happen? Is my question to you, because the difference between the World Cup and baseball is they're not fully guaranteed $200 to $500 million contracts or $1 billion contract in the case of Ohtani. Like, let's say Ohtani goes out there and catches a fastball to the jaw, and his career's over. Like, that's $1 billion investment. And then what happens is now these players have to be able to get insurance to cover them, right? So who wants to insure Ohtani for $1 billion?
Brother, do you really want to start talking about soccer players and being overpaid and baseball players like that? Come on. I mean, dude. Soccer is the most global sport out there.
I get that, but you're talking
have
like
billions of dollars in contracts.
People used to talk about the Tribe not spending any money when they had a $30 million salary.
Yeah,
like they still have like a $90 million salary,
and they still don't spend any money.
They still don't spend any money, but that's not the point. The fact is, these teams are spending hundreds of millions of dollars for these star athletes to come play for them to go play in a nationalized game that is exciting and it's great for baseball. But frankly, if you're the Dodgers, do you really want 3 of your stars going out there? That's going to cost you, I don't know, between Ohtani and whoever else is going.
Yamamoto.
Yeah, what are you going to have out there? You're going to have yourself $2 billion worth of contracts playing in baseball, and
that's
a team
why they
that's
have
not
insurance,
associated
dude.
with you. I get that, but you're the Dodgers. You invest $2 billion for you to win World Series, not to watch your players go play for their
And
Japan.
you know who can afford that $2 billion paycheck?
The Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
I get that.
So you get what I'm
but
saying.
I think
here.
that limits what that's going to become unless it's got to, because the baseball season is so long. Unless every 4 years they shorten the baseball season and allow for the World Baseball Classic to be. We don't want to see less than 162 games.
No.
I'd
It's
be so
like
happy with
it's like
100.
200 games between spring training
Yeah.
and the same thing. You need if you're taking that same logic in spring training. Why is my guy out there when the games don't even count?
But he's also but it's different. He's getting ready for his season with his team that he's being paid to play.
And what do you think he's doing right now? He's getting ready to play with his
He's
team.
getting ready to go hang out in Japan and fucking drink sake. Party with the team afterwards.
Anyway,
bro.
so yeah, I think this is a massively global event. I just don't think the MLB knows. The MLB has never been known how to market anything. They don't know how to market their players. They don't know how to market their events. They need to get better at it. It's come a lot farther from where it used to be, but they need to just do better at it as a whole. It's going to be a long way away before we start seeing people like just regularly reflect on the WBC. Like, I would love to see an ad for it once in a while. I'd love to see merch, like custom merch for it. Like, I don't see anything. I truly don't. And I got to be honest, even with me being away from social media, like, I still will occasionally see some ads and stuff like that. I'm like, why is none of this talking about baseball?
Right. Yeah, baseball's never been something to really advertise, and it goes on the team and the national level, right?
Yeah.
Well, here, I mean, just to add to that, like, look at the Bonds thing. Like, that was the greatest thing to happen to baseball. I mean, obviously, it got flipped around, turned upside down.
What do you mean, the
ruined.
steroid era in general? Or?
Well, just Bonds is chased for 70 home runs.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
That was the most baseball watched in probably years. Since then, for sure. And they didn't even market that really right. They were just games you couldn't even see.
The 90s was something else, man. I mean, it was just I wish I could have lived through it. I wish I could have lived through the 70s and 90s. I wasn't old enough.
All right. We're going to get down to our final last segment. Actually, I had a question. Let's test your ball knowledge. Who's Japan's best hitter?
Oh, God, I don't fucking.
Murakami? You know who that is? No? 50 home runs in Japan.
Let me see.
There's nothing to see. It says Murakami.
That's it. There's no other name.
All I
to
know
it.
is he hit 50 home runs in Japan, which is like unheard of, apparently. Here, let's look up. Let's see who Murakami is.
Can give you this for a better deal on that.
Bringing
give
your
you
AT&T
this,
or T-Mobile
give you
for a
that.
better deal.
Munetaka Murakami, yeah.
Pitched in the big leagues and went over there and did really transform his career. Now a first pitch swing. Murakami crushes one.
Oh, that's against USA in 2023.
Yep.
Oh man, I didn't even mean to pull that up. Pretty impressive.
Fucking Merrill Kelly.
That happened last night.
What's his name?
Fastball tonight.
Merrill Kelly.
Tie ball game. Murakami is no surprise to big games and big swings. The
All
two-time
right.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good, he's a good
Two-time
hitter.
MVP
Now,
in
and you
Japan.
know what? He plays in the AL Central now with the White Sox. You do realize that, right?
Murakami?
Yeah.
I didn't think he made it to MLB yet. God,
Dude, swipe back.
No, that's all right. We don't have to fucking.
I'm just going to say, I just want you to read the highlight. It literally says White Sox signed Murakami. Swipe back to where your initial search was. White Sox brings
3 days ago.
Yeah.
Big spring debut, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, almost hit a homer. Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking White Sox. Great. Just great, Ed. Why can't the Guardian sign anybody from Japan?
Don't even get me started. Well, don't open this box of worms. This podcast will never end if I start talking like that. All right.
All right. Last thing I got on here is the Cavs. They were on a heater. Unfortunately, they lost the other night to Golden State. Right now, they're actually currently probably playing the New York Knicks. The Knicks.
The Nits?
Actually, I wonder what that score is if they're playing. I don't know if they started at currently up 21 or 27-21 with 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. So the Cavs play the Knicks tonight. And then Friday, they play Detroit. So
The number 1 seed.
I mean, this is a tough schedule. I mean, you had Denver just a week ago. They pulled out that win. I think that was Harden's second or third game with the Cavs after the trade.
Was that a week ago?
Yeah, it was last weekend.
Shit.
And then this weekend, Sunday, was at OKC. They did lose that game. Close game. They were down by 5 with like a couple minutes left to go and didn't pull it off. But now they're playing the Knicks. If they win this one and then they go to Detroit and win that, they could be looking at being up in the top 2 seeds. And are they that good? Are they a championship contender right now? Or are they just the best team out of the East?
I mean, you just got to get hot at the right time.
Agreed.
I think they got a good ball. I think they got a good thing going right now. They were on a 7-game win streak. I think there's a lot of good
13
stuff.
out of 14, I think.
And it's a lot of good stuff. A
Yeah.
lot of good stuff happening. I don't see why they can't be considered into that. It's a dark horse right now.
Sure.
I don't think.
Well,
I
they're the
think
favorite to win the East, according to most of the betting books.
I still think Detroit could pull that off. They've still been the number 1 seed for a little bit.
I get that.
I don't know, man.
feel
This is such a volatile time for basketball right now because leading up to this, this is kind of when everybody starts picking it up a little bit because they know, the playoffs are coming around the corner and this last month and even the coming weeks in April are going to be defined as to kind of the seed that they're going to receive.
Sure.
So I don't know. I can't sit here and say that, the Cavs are going to go out there, they're going to beat everybody's ass and they're going to be a playoff contender and they're going to, do all this stuff. I don't know. This is such a time where like now players are starting to go at it 110%.
Yeah.
It's a great time because now we can kind of filter out who's just been bullshitting their way to the top and who is actually a serious competitor. But I don't think anybody's getting past the Thunder still. I still think that team is
the
going to go
Thunder's
back to
still
back.
stacked.
They're still
The Thunder's
stacked
still
in
stacked.
every aspect. So I really just don't have anything more to that, to be honest with you.
No, that's fine. We'll hold out, see how the playoffs go. We'll see how this week ends. They might be a hotter topic after playing Detroit and New York. We'll see where that ends up. But we're going to finalize this episode. We've got a few minutes left here. If you guys were just joining us or just tuning in or just caught us on YouTube, Guys Sports Night, we are here live every Tuesday night, and we are actually going to be live next Tuesday from here. And if anybody wants to join us live in studio in Medina, please reach out, either comment or message us. You got something to say yet?
Yeah. What if we somehow, are we going to do an emergency podcast if we somehow get an Arnold bodybuilder to do the show with us?
I mean, that's possible. We could definitely do that. We could probably ask a couple of guys to do something, or we might just stream in live from.
Do we need to get like
down
one of the
there at the
boom
Arnold.
mics so we could just be like, hey, Chris, how was it, Chris?
Actually, wouldn't it be more like this? They're mostly like four feet tall, I feel like. But anyhow, next week's our Browns off-season special. We're going to come up with our dream off-season for the Browns. So we're going to do some work. We're going to talk trades. We're going to talk free agent moves. We're going to talk draft, what the Browns should do, what they shouldn't do. But before we get into that, this really starts the off-season, or the next season, I should say, for the NFL, right? As we transition into this week's the Combine, NFL league year starts, free agency opens up. And then it's the NFL draft, and then we're talking OTAs and moving into the football season. It's so funny how that fast that moves. The only thing that excites me is I want it to hurry up and be 2027 as a Cleveland Browns fan, but that's okay. We're gonna make some moves and try to make it exciting next week. But I want to talk a little bit about the NFL Combine, because with more and more athletes, and we talked about the amount of money that goes into these athletes and what they're getting paid. We've seen it really start back with Denzel Ward and stuff like that. These players that drop out of the end of the season, don't want to play in the final bowl games, don't want to compete in the Combine anymore. How important do you think the Combine is still in, into the draft process? And I will give you one interesting fun fact as well. 300 invites roughly every year.
319.
300 to 319. With up to 15,000 eligible players. 85 to 90% of those 315 get drafted every year. So, I mean, it does, going to that Combine, they are basically selecting who's going to get drafted. They're pretty damn good at picking the right athletes. To take part in.
It is the top 300 players.
Correct.
So yeah.
I mean, that's like saying it's the top 100 players taken in the NFL draft every year are the best 100 players.
That's true.
That's never the case, right? Yeah. So, but they're pretty good at guessing as far as that goes. But yeah, do you think it's as important now to teams that are doing their pre-draft requisites, or do you think it's just a way to inflate draft stock or deflate it in some cases?
I don't know, man. I really don't. And it's so misleading because you could put roughly the same measurements. Like if you did a double blind analysis of like, you put two players together, similar 40 times, similar bench press, similar 3-cone, similar, similar stats in college, and you put them one against each other, and you ask them, like, who's better here? And they pick one versus the other. And like, why'd you say that? Well, one's Calvin Johnson and the other one's Corey Coleman.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's all just for numbers' sake, really. But again, I don't know what initially they look for. I think the interview is more important than anything, more than the actual, I guess measurements themselves. It's important to know those measurements. It's important to be accurate with that stuff.
I think it depends on the position too, right? What is obviously 100%. The drills themselves are one thing, but like for instance, the interview with the running back probably not as important as the interview with the quarterback. The 40 time for the receiver probably more important than the 40 time for your offensive tackle.
I think for everybody that isn't scouting football talent, that isn't like a YouTuber scouting talent that's talking about the draft, or an NFL agent that is talking about this type of stuff that has to go through and make this decision process, for them it matters. For the rest of us, I mean, it's just there
it's just
for
fun to watch.
Yeah,
it's fun to watch.
Entertainment.
Here I'll give you a couple examples. These are some ones that I wrote down. I remember Chris Johnson's 40 time running back for the Tennessee Titans.
I remember John Ross's 40 time.
They're a perfect example. So Chris Johnson, where did he play for? Memphis? I can't remember. But mid round pick, most likely, runs a 4.24, changes everything, ends up being a 2,000-yard rusher for the
John
Titans.
Ross, top 10 pick.
Did nothing.
4.22, did nothing.
Right. And that was a guy who I think he was like 5'11" too. He wasn't like, or maybe he was 6 foot.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But he wasn't a top 10 guy until he ran that 4.24 or 4.22 40. And then that kind of propelled him. Did the Raiders take him too? I feel like the Raiders could have taken the fast guys.
John Ross was taken by the Bengals.
You're right. John Ross was taken by the Bengals.
Yeah. I think what really is, when it comes down to the combine, it's not even the combine itself. It's for this phase of things to build them up, only for the announcers to announce on the TV, oh, this person, beat his girlfriend in college and is on a, the FBI watch list for Bitcoin fraud. And it's like, why do we have to talk about that when the player's getting drafted right now?
Yeah,
like people will show like Laramie Tunsil's video of him smoking that gas mask.
I mean, that was the night before the draft.
That was the pick before. Bro, I don't think you realize
that's when it got shown, but I thought it went live the night before.
I don't remember.
Either way, that dude ended up being like a Hall of Fame style tackle.
He still is a great tackle. Or Joe Mixon, they showed the video of him hitting his girlfriend.
I don't remember that one.
Baker Mayfield when he ran from
he dropped. Oh yeah, Baker running from the cops.
Now, what's funny, I'll tell you that's Baker's story off camera, but he had nothing to even do with why the cops were even there.
Well, sure.
He was just drunk and just ran away. Yeah. Like that's literally it.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything.
I mean, Baker's got way better stories than that. We know he likes Cheesecake Factory.
That is such a fake story. Okay, we're done. Good night, guys.
Wait, hold on a second.
We're not going to start that story again.
It's a great story.
It's fake.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't think that's fake.
I don't think it's real.
I think it's real. Anyhow, I wanted to go over. So I brought up a couple of big movers that came up because of the combine. See if you remember. DK Metcalf.
Yep.
Dude, that dude was I only liked him because he was related to Eric Metcalf, who's like my favorite player growing up. But the dude was 6'4", 230 and ran a 4.3 40 at the combine and like lit up. And I just remember all his Instagrams were going live where he had like his shirt off or whatever in like a hotel and he was fucking shredded with a
shredded out of his mind.
And everyone's like, "Who the fuck is this
dude?" And he's
dude?
Still that shredded this day.
Where did he play ball?
Ole Miss.
Yeah, Ole Miss. I mean, his career turned out kind of where everybody thought it would end up. I really wanted the Browns to draft him that year, but that didn't happen. But,
he was good. He's a hothead.
I mean, obviously, we saw what happened last year. Chris Johnson, we talked about him. Trayvon Walker, 280-pound defensive end that ran a 4.5 40, made him the #1 overall pick. Had an okay, career. He's not like lighting the world on fire.
He's probably the most irrelevant first overall pick ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Aiden Hutchinson should have went before him.
Definitely. Here's one for you because we're going to talk about this next week as everybody's talking about Browns' potential quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson, 4'4", 340, 6'4", 230. How about that? 40-inch vertical for a quarterback. Athletic freak. Unthought of, it wasn't in a first-round mock the entire year and went 4th overall. God, I hope the Browns don't fucking pick him up this offseason through some trade or some bullshit. I don't want that drama. Only quarterback in NFL history, I think, to leave the game because he needed a break. That didn't work out too well for him.
No. His team promptly scrutinized him for it.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, they got Daniel Jones. They're trying to lock up to a long-term contract now, so good for them. All right, what are some other notes I had in here? Oh, we talked about the interview process, how important it was. So, do you know that almost 31 out of 32 teams put a first round grade on Pat Mahomes after his interview because of his eccentric football IQ?
Yeah, and who was the one team that didn't?
Cleveland Browns.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Oh, I was going to say that'd be pretty impressive, though.
But I will give you some Cleveland Brown quarterbacks who the majority of the league thought bumbled their interviews and were just basically dumber than Boxerat. You want to take a guess of who they were?
God. Cody Kessler.
Nope.
Deshaun Kaiser.
Nope.
No, not Josh McCown.
Dude, how are you missing this? Come on.
Shador?
Nope. Although there was a lot of rumors around Shador last season.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Manziel.
Oh, fuck yeah. When a homeless guy tells you to draft a fucking player and you listen to him, what does it tell you?
I mean, let's be real. If Johnny Football would have came here and played the way he did in college and we would have been okay with it. The fact that he was that fucked up, I mean, looking back at it, it's like, God, I fucking hate that guy.
And he's an asshole. Let me tell you something. He is
100% an asshole.
He's 100% an asshole. I won't ever scrutinize a man, but when you throw Cleveland underneath the bus for your own mistakes that you fucked up on, you deserve to be called an asshole.
The fact that he comes out with a documentary talking about how much of a cocaine addict and fucking idiot he was, and then he wants to blame the Cleveland Browns.
He wants to blame Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel, go fuck yourself, dude. What are you doing right now? Go clean my fucking boots, bro. The other one though that people thought was not quite smart enough to pick up a playbook and run with it was Deshaun Watson. That's why he fell from like the top 5 to the 14th or 12th overall pick, I think that year. I mean, I wanted the Browns to draft him back then. I think I shared that with you before. I mean, he was what, 2-time champion at Clemson. He was a baller at Clemson.
God, you just remind me of one of those guys that on Twitter of like their header is like DW4 for the win, but it's all abbreviated like DW4 FTW hashtag Browns Nation, and you just every week post some highlights of Deshaun
Watson, dude. I've given up on Deshaun Watson. Although I think he'll probably quarterback 6 or 7 games this year, but we'll see.
God, no.
Anyhow, so the last thing I wanted to share about the combine is there is some here. I'm gonna ask you what you think these are, and you tell me. Burst score.
Burst score?
Burst score.
Like you're burst out of the line of scrimmage?
It just says burst score.
Okay.
It's the your vertical added to your broad jump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is how analytics is taken such a part of it. They say that the old school scouting of really the combine has kind of changed, and now there's modeling that's more injury probability modeling based off of your running style and your throwing style and how likely you are to cause joint damage and stuff earlier. The strength of your tendons is all measured. Analytics and GPS movement tracking through an accelerated curves program to see how well you move fluently.
This is like George Orwell 1984.
Change of direction efficiency.
Okay.
Agility index to gauge how much separation as a receiver that you can get. Obviously, that's something the Browns have failed at when drafting wide receivers because our receivers couldn't get away from a Brinks truck. But it's interesting to see how that's going to affect. I'm looking to see who the big stories are going to be out of this year as we proceed through combine week.
I will tell you, climbers, when I start getting more fuller into the NFL combine. When I go full NFL mock combine mode, you'll know.
Oh, that's this week. So next Tuesday, you got to be prepared.
No.
Full off season.
We're talking like
full off season for the Cleveland Browns dream scenario. And we're going to talk about the stories of the combine. So that's what to look forward to next week. If you're in the Medina or Cleveland, Ohio area and you want to come onto the podcast, we got an extra seat for you. Happy to have you on board. If you want to join from virtual, wherever you're at, we're happy to StreamYard you in and let you kind of talk football, come up with your best ideas for the Browns this offseason. And Ed, it's been another fantastic night. We took this one a little longer.
Mr. Will, it's always a pleasure, sir.
As always. And to you all out there, good night, everybody.
Peace.
End the stream.